the club, hasn't he? Top scorer, I believe.
Oh, this is promising soon. And a goal! So many... Real chance. And a goal!
Some footballers dream about becoming professionals from the moment they can walk. They grow up with posters on their walls. They spend their childhood imagining themselves in packed stadiums, hearing their name shouted by thousands of people. And then there are players like Sam Warren. For most of his life, football was never supposed to become a career. It was just something he loved, something that made the difficult days a little easier, something that gave him a place to go when he didn't really know where else to be. Sam was born in Liverpool, but he would grow up in Newport, South Wales, and the reason he ended up there was not because of football. When Sam was 10 years old, his father died, and after losing him, life changed. His mother, who was Welsh, made the decision to move with Sam to Newport, where they could stay with her parents. It was supposed to be a new beginning, but for a 10-year-old boy, a new beginning doesn't always feel like one. His mother was struggling financially. They lived under his grandparents' roof. And while the adults tried to figure out how to rebuild their lives, Sam was left trying to figure out how to rebuild his own. Then came football, not because Sam asked for it, because his grandfather thought he needed somewhere to be, somewhere that wasn't home, somewhere that wasn't inside his own head. So one day, Sam was registered with the Newport County Academy, and the timing could not have been more perfect, because the academy was barely 500 meters from where he lived. Rodney Parade, home of Newport County AFC, was right there. The club was right there. And for the first time in a long time, something felt right. Sam began playing, then he kept playing, and slowly something happened. But football was still only football. Sam never treated it like a way out. He never saw himself as the next big thing. He studied, he finished school, and when he had the opportunity to pursue a 2-year vocational course in software engineering, he took it. Football remained on the side, something safe, something familiar, something that belonged to him, because Sam had seen what happened when life changed without warning. He had no interest in building his entire future around something that could disappear overnight. So while other young players were dreaming about contracts and stadiums, Sam was learning how to build websites and write software. And after graduating, he started looking for work. He also started spending more time around the academy, partly because he loved being there, partly because the club's president was a friend of his grandfather, and partly because, for the first time, the people around him were beginning to notice something that Sam himself hadn't. He was different. Sam watched football constantly, not just matches, highlights, old matches, midfielders, players who controlled games without always needing to score. Iniesta, Busquets, Modric, Kroos, Rodri, Beckham, Messi, and many more. Sam studied the way they moved, the way they received the ball, the way they looked before the ball even reached them, and then he tried to recreate it, not because he thought he would become them, just because he wanted to understand how they did it. For almost a year after graduating from his vocational program, he played with the academy, working as a waiter, while still looking for an engineering job. He spent his free time around the football club, and by all accounts, it was probably the happiest period of his life. Then, almost by accident, the first team called. An injury had left them short in midfield. Sam was brought up as a substitute. He sat there, he watched, and he waited. 10 games remained in the season, 10 opportunities to step onto the pitch. He played none of them. The following season, nothing changed. The new season began. The opportunities never came. The manager didn't trust him, and Sam didn't seem particularly surprised because, in his mind, there was nothing unusual about it. He was young, he had no experience, and there were better players. At least that's what he thought. Then came the new season, and everything changed. A new manager arrived, and this manager had a different philosophy. It didn't matter where you came from. It didn't matter how old you were. It didn't matter what people thought they knew about you. You had to earn your place. And before the new season even began, Sam Warren signed his first professional contract with Newport County. At 20 years old, the boy who had never really believed football could become his life had finally been given the chance to find out. And suddenly, the game that had once been his escape was becoming something else, a responsibility. a career, a future. The people around him started talking. Coaches saw potential, analysts saw ability. Fans started wondering whether Newport had found something special. Some even began to believe that in a club with limited resources and modest expectations, Sam Warren might be the player capable of changing everything. But there was one problem. Sam didn't believe them. He actually didn't understand why the club decided to offer him a professional football contract, but it was an opportunity to do something, so he accepted. Sam had spent years treating football like a safe place. Now, for the first time, he had to treat it like a business, because the moment you become a professional, the rules change. You are no longer playing simply because you love the game. You are being judged. Every match, every mistake, every decision, and if you stop performing, someone else will take your place. Sam knows that. He understands that his dream club can still replace him, and maybe that's why, despite all the attention around him, he remains uncertain. He doesn't see a star. He sees a 20-year-old who still has a lot to learn. A young man who spent years believing football was just something he did on the side. Until one day, everyone else started telling him that maybe he had been looking at himself the wrong way. So this is where Sam Warren's story begins. Not with a wonder kid, not with a boy destined for greatness, not with a footballer who always knew exactly where he was going, but with a young man who has finally reached the place he once thought was impossible, and now has to discover whether he actually belongs there. This is Sam Warren, and this is only the beginning.